Maurice, you scared me there, bud.
Hey,
I saw your camera go off, and then like, whoa, where'd it go?
I told you do not disturb, right? She called me, right? But I was like, I'm the one time. And she was like, it's okay. Kids are fine. I was like, okay, as long as they're okay, that's fine. So I gotta call her when we get done.
All right, I guess I'm gonna be on the show here.
Get out, go!
How's it going, Maurice?
What's good, man? You all right?
I'm doing good. A couple weeks into the new year here. Trying to get my feet under me back at work. I went back to work a couple weeks ago after taking 3 months off to work on some racquetball stuff, and here we are.
Okay.
How was your New Year's?
Straight, been with the kids. Had the birth of the son back in November.
Congratulations.
Thank you. A couple days before my birthday, so I'll never have another birthday gift in my life except for him, and I'm cool with that. And then my daughter turns 2 tomorrow, bro. Like tomorrow.
Stop it.
Dude, tomorrow. I have a freaking 2-year-old, man. I'm about to have a 2-year-old. So being a father, fatherhood's been one of the best things I could ever wish for. They've taught me a lot about life, so I just been with them.
Fatherhood is definitely my dad told me when we had our son that being a father, you'll feel the most love and the most fear in your life ever.
Yeah.
So definitely have those times.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, wouldn't trade it for the world. So it's
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on out in the metaverse, so to speak.
Yep.
And you and I both kind of had a similar reaction where we just wanted to kind of turn the cameras on and go live right then and there.
Yeah.
And cooler heads prevailed. We were able to take a breath and kind of figure out how we want to kind of deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, let's just bring back the real racquetball show and have a conversation about it. And so, with that being said, real quick, I'm just going to post up. If anybody has questions that they want answered on air, feel free to email me at president@usaracquetball.com. I've got the inbox up ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can text me at 215-688-1831. I've got the phone right here ready to go as well.
Yeah.
We would try to siphon some to Maurice also.
Yeah.
But Maurice is broadcasting live from his phone. So he's not able to see his phone and see the text without interrupting the stream. So we don't want to interrupt the stream.
And obviously, everybody post them on stream too. We would love to hear what everybody's thinking too.
Yeah, you can pop them in the chat box wherever you're watching on Facebook or YouTube.
Yep.
We're in both locations. Feel free to post it up on there as well, and we'll grab them. Quick disclaimer. I know everybody wants every question answered. It's not feasible most of the time to answer every question. First and foremost, it's just time, right? Maurice has 2 kids. I've got 1 kid.
Yep.
So we've got fatherly duties. This isn't our whole life here. But also there's certain things, certain topics, staff specific financial numbers that we just can't talk about. And so we want to be open, honest, and real with everybody, and bring our opinions and our knowledge and our experience with the board to bear against any questions that might come up. And we want to be able to try to set some facts straight.
Yep.
And before anything comes in the box, Maurice, what was it that sparked you to want to kind of bring us together here?
For me, it was the Connor backlash or reaction overall, but really was when he leaked the resignation. I didn't know about it, and he obviously didn't know it got leaked. But that for me sparked it because there was so much, I wouldn't say negative, but there was just, like I said, misinformation on that post I made, on the comment. And I could have went back and commented, but like I said on the post, no, I'm going to figure out a way to do it when we decide on this. For me, Connor was introduced February of 2020, national doubles. And so that was the first tournament I got to meet him. And I think he was introduced. And then immediately COVID happened, So, his title is director of national events, supposed to, bring sponsorship dollars, run the events, try to turn it around and everything. However, he never really got an equal footing, in my opinion, regardless if I know him as a person, just looking at him as a staff member, as a player myself who would want things, where could he get sponsorship dollars from? What company was willing to sponsor at that time? We didn't know, the world didn't know what they were doing, right? 2020 was shut down. 2021, it was still shut down. That's a year and some months that we just don't have anything. 2022 is when it started opening up a little bit. Okay. But if a company mainly doesn't do their budgets for 2022 on, like for 2020, we're talk about their budget, then 2022 is locked in. Okay, well, if I'm not sponsoring any outside events, because I got to make sure my company is okay, I have to pay my employees, we've got operating costs we've got to worry about. 2023 would be that year where we can finally start truly investing once we know what we're going to do, and you can talk to people and all that. But he's resigned. I know of the backlash that he's been getting from it. Obviously there was a backlash from US Open, from the countless national championships he has tried to run, from doubles to combining them for the team qualifier like in Iowa, trying to put on the festival, but that got canceled. Trying to do national doubles at Arizona, but that got canceled. Having to go down to World Games. We're talking about a guy who spent over, just on the low end, over 200 days last year away from his house on business. Away. Didn't get to see his house, didn't get to sleep in his bed. Away on business, making what he's making, trying to put the same passion and love we do into it, having to fit it in an 8-hour or whatever day work schedule that he's got to get the backlash that you've been getting. We're talking about a guy who won an award in 2020 for his position throughout every sport, voted by his peers. That's who resigned. Sure, US Open was US Open. We'll get into that too. But that's what we just lost. That's what, as a community, we lost, regardless if we like him or not. There have been plenty of people who I don't like, but they get results. Be quiet, Maurice, because they're getting results done. Or this person's doing what they're supposed to do. Regardless, opinions or not, even if I don't like it, okay, are they doing something? Okay, cool. Like, it was a staff of three also, so I can't really just focus on my task because I have other things I've got to do. Staff of three, when it's, we'll say a staff of 8, 9, may be okay, right? Even if it's a staff of 6, okay, great. I got double the workload on top of what I'm supposed to do, on top of just what I'm supposed to do, and top of having to turn around and try and make, changes and plans or flip just adapt to whatever situation is going on. Because there were times where during the Real Racquetball show, right, there are contracts that we couldn't discuss being discussed, yet they're lengthened because of whatever reason. And so you can't come out with an announcement, or we can't make this decision yet because contracts are being sent off on time. APS Nike, right, finally signed it. How long were we talking about announcing that before we finally got to announce it? And it wasn't, Connor didn't do his part. Contracts weren't being sent back.
Mm-hmm.
What can he do, right? So that's where, for me, it was frustrating because, we never really got an answer from him either. So he didn't really come out here and defend himself. And there was just so much stuff, even when it comes to you and me, where we get told, well, we did this or we did that. And we're not, though. Like, we're not. Would we have approved a tournament losing that much money? No, let's just get that. No, because we all know what's going on in USA Racquetball. But it happened. And yet we made changes for it. So that for me, what was so frustrating, for me, that was my only.
Yeah.
About you?
Yeah, and the Connor, to your point, being dealt a difficult hand to get through, right? It's really hard to go from a Doug era US Open, right? Doug had 25 years to build it into what that 25th anniversary was.
Yeah.
He had contracts lined up through to the end of that 25th anniversary event. All that stuff took time and cultivation. Doug put in hours and hours of his life and committed to it, right? And that was one person doing that one event. Yeah, he did other things. He had other events going on and he had other life and work to do. But, we had Connor on a staff of 3 who was supposed to be focusing on that and everything else we wanted him to do, right? And it's not as simple, USA Racquetball is an association. It's not as simple as put on an event here, put in an event there, get some sponsors and make it happen. There's a lot that has to happen that our staff does, our staff has to take care of. We have to service the members, right? When there's members that have questions about their membership, or why did I get double charged, or I pulled out of this event, can I get a refund? So we have to be able to service members that are current members and try to cultivate new membership. There's tournament directors when they have questions. We have lots of tournaments that go on throughout the country. R2 isn't supposed to be the ones that are fielding those questions. It's USA Racquetball fielding our members' questions, our tournament directors' questions. We have to do that. Our membership money that comes in goes back to the states in the form of rebates. Well, there's programming that has to happen to make sure that people are complying and doing that. And so we have to sort through all that information to make sure that the rebates are getting to the people that need it and want it and are going to use it. Right? And so there's work that has to happen to stay within the USOPC umbrella. We have to be compliant with their bylaws and their requirements. And people will get on and say, well, you got to stop chasing the Olympic dream. It's not about the Olympic dream, right? There's a ton of Pan Am sports out there under the USOPC umbrella that compete, that aren't in the Olympics. And we're still competing for Team USA and Team Gold, right? There's still things that we have to do to be a part of the sport movement to help the entire USOPC brand keep moving. And we do get support from the USOPC, a ton of support. And now in my new role, I've just found out even more support that we're getting.
Yeah.
And so it's and I don't know if we were well versed in everything that's available to us. And so I started probing some questions like, wow, we have all this available to us. So the staff isn't just put on an event and go do. It's not just take a credit card, thank you for your time. Yeah. There's a lot more that's out there. And if we want to do the bigger programming, if we want to run bigger juniors programs, if we want to do these different outreaches, it's great to have the programs, but we need the staff to support those programs. Yep. And we got down to one person, one paid staff person on staff trying to take care of it all. So, that's some behind the scenes that goes on, a little peek behind the curtain. Real quick, I'm just looking in the chat box. There's some stuff that came in. I don't want to get caught behind.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pop Steve in the box here real quick, asking about the board candidates.
Okay.
It's in our bylaws to go through this. We have a committee. And, I've only been on one other board outside of USA Racquetball. And it's kind of common practice where you have a committee that looks at the potential candidates, whether they came themselves, nominated themselves, or are nominated by somebody else. There's usually a committee that goes through these candidates to make sure there's a fit for form and function, right? We need to make sure that there's people that, if we have a board that's full of financially oriented people, but have no marketing experience or no law experience, we need to be able to find people that have that marketing, that law, that whatever experience. We need to be able to have a very diverse cross-functional board that comes with different ways to look at a problem or can kind of carry the torch of the discussion to move through. So that's why it goes through this committee to make sure that that person is vetted appropriately and is qualified to be able to go on to a slate. So Steve, thanks for that. I'm going to bring in Max real quick. Driving force before the ball change. I know Carrie responded to this in the chat box. Carrie, thanks for picking this one up. That was an IRT change, not a USA Racquetball change. And it's really important, Maurice, I just want to take a minute to kind of step back and make sure that we are level set, that USA Racquetball is the national governing body for USA for the sport of racquetball. The IRT is the men's pro tour, and the LPRT is the women's pro tour, right? It's kind of like USA Basketball is the national governing body for basketball for the US, and the NBA and the WNBA are the pro tours, right? And so there's this break off in dichotomy on things, and the IRT and the LPRT have their rules at the end of our rule book. That's really the connection piece. That's the only connection piece there. Yep. The IRT does their own thing and makes their own decisions. We just renewed our contract with Penn to be the official ball of USA Racquetball. So Penn is our ball, not the Gearbox ball at this time. But Gearbox is the official ball for the IRT, and they're also the ball that the IRF uses. And so there's a lot of different bodies out there. So let's not confuse things and have this cross pollination between all the different groups that are out there.
Okay.
Carrie, yep. Steve, again, thanks, Steve. Steve, I know I don't get on Facebook a lot, just because there's lots of negativity out there, and I just don't need that in my life. I need positivity in my life. And I've got a little boy that I'm trying to enjoy time with before he gets too old and grows up and leaves the house. So we just built a snowman after we got 4 inches of snow here in Plymouth. And I have to say, that's the first time I've actually built a snowman. Like, I grew up in Philly and we had snow a lot, but I've never had compactable snow like we had this weekend. And I've never taken the time to do it. And to take the time to build a snowman with my son was just amazing. I know, Maurice, you're looking forward to building snowman with your kids. So
Yeah, I live in the South. Not at all. No.
But Steve, I do see you posting a lot on Facebook when I do get on there, and I thank you for the contributions. Current financial health of USAR. I think it's safe to say, Mike Grizz would say that things are turning around, right? So we have an accounts payable that's out there, and we're looking to be out of that shortly. So things have really turned around. Mike Grizz has done a phenomenal job of outreach for support through the community. And I hope that just continues to grow. And I hope through national events, we're able to, he's put the edict out that that the national events are going to be profitable, and that'll only help the bottom line in the end. So, we have a plan to kind of go forward. And so it's it was rough go, right? I think when I entered into this position, I thought it was going to be somewhat status quo, just keep things moving along. And then we got hit with everything that we got hit with recently. And it's like, whoa, like, so Maurice, I took 3 months off from work, unpaid leave, right? Because I had this passion project. Yeah, no, I didn't get any money coming in.
All right, I can't lie.
So I had this passion project here in Plymouth. I wanted to build a high school program. We have 2 high schools in Plymouth. And I wanted to build a high school program, and I wanted to send, at a minimum, 2 high school players from Massachusetts to national high schools. That was where my time was going to be focused. And then when all this hit the fan, turned right around and committed the time to USA Racquetball alongside with Mike Grizz. And so the financial turnarounds that we're starting to see now is been great. So
can I comment slightly on it?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Steve, in my opinion, because Stewart's way more, the word I'm looking for. He sounds very charismatic, like he speaks very cleanly. I'm gonna be straight. Not saying he's not.
He's charismatic.
Current financial health, in my opinion, right? Help, donate, send whatever, do whatever you can, because there's a lot of myth out there that the staff is taking money, the board's taking money, we're pocketing our money, Connor's taking money. No, most of the money is going towards bills or events or going towards operating costs, things that need to be done. There will be a certain level where and Mike's doing his best to avoid that, where stuff's not going to be and there's no money in, which is why we're doing everything we can. Stewart and I, like you said, we don't get paid for this. We get nothing for doing a show. We get nothing for being on the board.
I actually pay to do this, right? Like, okay. I paid for the StreamYard accounts. I've donated a ton of money, so I actually pay to do this.
Yeah,
I don't get paid.
Exactly, matching for like Giving Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we don't grow like me. I don't get anything for it, but we're passionate about the sport because of what we've been through, our experiences, how we want everybody to do it. That's what we do. And so when we're coming on saying, hey, we do need this, we really do. It's not going towards somebody where it's going to be misused. And there have been people like, hey, we want to help, but we don't have contact. Reach out. You can't text me on this call right now because my phone, I'm literally streaming on my phone right now, which is why you see it. But if you text me, there are people who reach out on Facebook who text me directly. I promise you, if you have a question, I'm going to answer it that time or the next day. Same with Stewart. Reach out, email. And if you feel like, hey, I wanna put efforts towards this thing, be it juniors, high schools, I want to help run tournaments, I want to help find sponsors, I want to be the person that just sits there and help with scorecards. Please reach out. I've got an idea about uh anything. Reach out, and I'll either tell you the answer or I can point you in the direction of somebody so your efforts aren't being wasted. Because there are plenty of people in racquetball who are passionate as we are, but just don't know, and they don't know where to go. And I know that because my own family, Troy, my brother, they didn't know stuff. He's like, bro, I've got you, but how many people don't know that? Which is what I said in that post I made on Keep Racquetball Great. How many people don't know that they can just reach out to you and ask a question? Huh. So if people close to me who know they can get the information still feel that way, what does anybody that I don't really get to see know? How many people don't really know who Maurice Miller is? Because I know a lot of people, but how many people don't know me? The common racquetball person that's going to go to LA Fitness in, let's say, Montana, because I've never been there, or New York, or Connecticut, freaking Massachusetts. I don't know why people live in Massachusetts, but anyway, right? They don't know that.
The food.
Yeah, clearly not the weather. But honestly, like that's why we do it. We do it because of the friendships. I can talk to Stewart. There's many times I've called Stewart and we didn't talk about racquetball. I can sit down and have a conversation with Stewart and we ain't got to talk about racquetball. That's a lot of stuff. I've got jobs because of people in racquetball that I don't have to talk about them with. So if I can go through that in my experiences, if I come up and I didn't get to go to junior nationals and all that, what if there's another kid or anybody, an adult who can get that same friendship from it? How many people go play racquetball but then go out to a restaurant and eat, or they go to a party of their friend or whatever, or they go support them? That's what racquetball is about. That's what racquetball is about. The pros, we get to see the pros. Yeah, but the pros were amateurs. I was an amateur, right? Why can't we get back to the amateurs?
I would argue you still are, but
I agree. I retired. Gladly retired, but you feel like we're like the pros were never just pros. They had to start somewhere. They were juniors. A lot of them were juniors. A lot of them maybe it started when they were amateurs. How many adults played national championships? The majority of a bracket isn't pros. The majority of any bracket's going to be amateurs because that's who's playing the sport. They just are. That's who's going to keep racquetball growing. Most of the people commenting out, amateurs, right? People who are passionate may or may not get to play. I don't get to play, and I'm still doing this here. And I don't get to play. I don't. I finally played a tournament, rusty as crap, but it was like great. My girl and my two kids were right outside the court. My daughter was banging on the glass trying to get me, crying. But daddy would go out there and smile at her because that's what it's about. I don't want to be Maurice the racquetball player. I'm Maurice the father, right? But I would love to give the experiences and everything to everybody that I've got. So financial health of USA Racquetball, help. So the programs that everybody wants to happen can happen. The tournaments will be better. The people are in place to do that. They will do it, but they need help to do it. We're trying to fix a boat with Band-Aids. We're literally trying to save a ship with Band-Aids when we ask them for tape, but we're doing what we can do. That's what we're doing.
No, Maurice, I was going to go to the boat analogy. Thank you for that segue. Because it may sound like I'm downplaying the hurt piece that we were in and still are coming out of, but we're at the point where we have the plan to fix the boat while we're sailing it, and we're in this phase now, looking forward on where we want to sail the boat. Which direction do we sail the boat in? And I've talked with a couple of people who they say they want to give to USA Racquetball, but they don't want to give to help get us out of this debt we might be carrying. They don't want to contribute to the operational bottom line. They want to be able to contribute to programs moving racquetball forward. We can do that, right? We have at least a couple, right? Programs that we would love to be able to put in place. But we need staff to be able to do that programming, right? And we need the money to do that. Now, there's some programs we don't need the staff for, and we can just go do, but we need the money to be able to throw at it, right? That's the financial piece on that. Sorry, going through, just catching up on some things. You're welcome to Max and Steve. Frank, can't go into the specifics of how much. I think it's as much as people want to be captivated by a number. I think the fact what the number is personally, I think is irrelevant. I think the fact that there is debt is the relevancy. And the fact that we're trying to climb out of it, it's not millions of dollars, right? I'll just put everybody's mind at ease. We're not millions of dollars in debt. It's not even a million. It's not even $500,000, right? So the number isn't the what matters. What matters is we need to get into positive cash flow, which with Mike's edict of no national events, or all national events being profitable, no national events losing money. I think it might be better to take a step back and say national events in aggregate will be profitable. Some of the events historically have lost money, unfortunately, but we know that those events are important, such as like a juniors event, right? If that's a money loss by a couple thousand, we'll take that, right? Because the juniors need to have something to aspire to, right? That helps them get through that stepping stone. Plus, the junior nationals is a great place to go visit wine country too. I hear from Brian Dixon all the time. So, but suffice to say, the amount of debt, Frank, I don't think is the question. I think it's more important that there is a debt that we don't want to carry, and we want to have nothing but positive cash flow moving forward.
Yeah.
Steve is asking, feel good about nationals? Combining events seems wise. So I was just actually on a finance committee call today with Steve and Mike Grizz. And while on that call, I went into the R2 page for National Dubs. And it says there's 180 people. This is a little peek behind the curtain here. I told, so we're trying to target 250 players, right? I told the t-shirt company, hey, it looks like we're probably on pace looking at the growth curve on R2 between College Station and now. We're probably on pace for maybe 225 is what it looked like. When you looked on R2, it's 180. I went through every doubles division because there's a button you can click on for paired doubles teams. And I went through each one of those doubles divisions to see which players weren't paired up and to see if their partner's name was listed. I came up with 45 names of doubles partners that weren't entered. Quick math, 180 plus 45.
225.
I don't know how it worked out that way, but it worked out that way. So I feel pretty good about nationals, right? And so I asked the staff to reach out to those people that aren't yet entered to say, hey, someone listed you as a doubles partner, and we don't see you entered. Can you please enter? So I think that'll be, and as tournament directors, that's what we do a lot, right? When we go through 2 weeks before an event, we're trying to pair up doubles teams, see who's missing, reach out to them and say, hey, Bob Smith, I need you to enter. That's just one of those things as tournament directors that we do. So I feel good. And the combining being a wise event, or a wise move, there was flack that we caught for, I saw some of the posts about now we have to have both events instead of having two separate events and, generate money across two events. But if you're paying two facility fees and you're losing more money than you are taking in the aggregate, it's not financially sound. And so that's why we made that decision to combine them for right now, right? We weren't getting the showing. And this is one of those, we've learned our lessons from the past where, one may be profitable and the other one is not. So if we look at the overlay, and this is one of those analytics that I wanted to do and I haven't got around to doing this analytic, how many play singles, how many play doubles, and how many play both? If the Venn diagram shows that the majority of them play both, well, why not have it at the same place? You might encourage more players to come out because I don't have to pay for 2 flights and 2 hotels. Okay, I'll do that, right? So I think I agree that it seems like I think it's you coming out, Arizona?
No.
But yeah, I do think it's wise for right now, right? It's wise for this time in our cycle. So Maurice, as a general board member and relatively new, what are your thoughts on the combining of the events?
So basically, like you said, I'm not getting into the numbers, but financial decisions. I mean, for where we're at, you just got to do that. We'll take it with Vegas and U.S. Open, right? Why was the decisions was made to do it? because US Open and Vegas were always 2-ish weeks apart, 10 days apart, 14 days apart. So you've had some people trying to either plan to go to Vegas or plan to go to US Open or trying to swing both of them. So separate them, right? It's the opposite. So now Vegas can become the spectacular event it's going to be. And come May, you've got US Open. So now you've got two separate events that are massive that can do it. When it came to singles and doubles, I play both. I've heard some people who want to keep them separated. I've heard many who don't mind. A lot of people play doubles. If I do play golf, I'm gonna be a doubles player. I can't put the time in to do singles like that anymore. And when looking at some of the going back to brackets over time, doubles was the way to go. And so combining it to me is a good decision for now. And obviously in the future, it doesn't have to remain this way in the future. If it makes sense to go back, we can always have it go back. But for right now, it just makes sense to combine it, in my opinion.
Going down, Steve again wants to know, how can club players help USA Racquetball and the game overall? Maurice, you and I were actually just talking about, LA Fitness,
Yep.
how we can work with LA Fitness. And it's one of those things, I said it on a stream somewhere, I forget which one, maybe it was Real Racquetball Show or something, where I said, join a league, save a court, especially when it comes to LA Fitness. I've talked to a number of people within the LA Fitness realm, right? If you give me the person I need to talk to, I will talk to them. I don't know who they are. The people that I've talked to don't seem to be it, and I can't seem to get up the ladder. The people I do talk to say that those people up the ladder don't care about us. They don't care about anybody. They just look at a sheet and they see the money coming in and they say life is good, right? And so if we want to be able to show that life is good and that the money's coming in, I ran leagues at LA Fitness in Stone and Mass, right? I got paid $12 an hour. It was barely enough to put gas in my tank, but I did it for the sport. I was there to help bring people onto the court in a structured manner. I was there also as a player for 30 years. That was able to give them some things that I've learned along the way. I'm no pro, but I've been around enough people that have been able to impart knowledge, and I impart the knowledge onto them. And I've seen some of those players come out to tournaments and they've gotten better. They've started out as C players. Now they're playing elites, right? And so they've worked on the craft over time. They've taken some of those points to heart. And while I was running those leagues, I was walking the courts. I had 5 courts available to me. I only used 4 because I always wanted to make sure there was one available for the common member to jump on. And I would always go down to that court and talk with people. Sometimes it was a father-son. Sometimes it was a married couple. Sometimes it was just some college students just whacking the ball around. And I'd jump on the court and say, hey guys, we've got this league down here where you're guaranteed to play somebody every week, multiple people every week. And oh, by the way, I'll be there to watch and offer you suggestions on how you can improve your game. And so, how can the common club players and the uncommon ones, right, the special ones, how can they help USA Racquetball at the club level? Create a league. Don't know how to create a league? Talk to me. We'll get a league for you, right? Whether it's a binder league, whether it's an LA Fitness league, whatever it is, we'll get a league going for you. And if you're going and playing regularly with friends at LA Fitness, create a league. Make sure that, and it sounds asinine. I'll say it, right? It sounds crazy and asinine. I'm going with my buddies already. Why am I going to pay $40 or whatever the going rate is now for this league? Because if you want those courts around still, that's the going rate. We need to be able to save those courts. And by showing LA Fitness, they'll have people ticking marks, right? I've seen the people at the front desk go, oh, there's 4 people on this court, there's 4 people on this court. But they never look and see the 10 people waiting to get on the court. Yep. They don't know racquetball. They don't understand racquetball. And so what they do understand is the financial sheet, the balance sheet. And if they see racquetball leagues ticked up this much, I can tell you right now, they're going to take notice.
Yeah.
So do that. And if you're at the club, not even racquetball related, going for a workout. I took my son to swim class, and I heard the ball hitting around on the court. I'm like, stay right here real quick. Thankfully, my wife was there, so he didn't have to stand by himself. And so I went down the courts, and all of a sudden, there's 8 people on a court. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And so come to find out, it was a guy, he's a owner of a restaurant in town. It was his birthday. His family brought him out to play racquetball because he loved racquetball. And so here I am in my Timbs and my pea coat, and I go down with my flyer to see if anybody wants to learn how to play racquetball outside of this little lesson they're the matriarch or the patriarch of the family is trying to impart. And I'm going with this, and they had a question about how to play doubles, and I just stepped on the court in my Tims and my peak coat, and I was going through. I took the time to give them on how to play the sport, and if they're interested, to contact me. Um, and that's just what it takes. It takes that time. Take that time and that openness to want to teach other people. I hear people say they don't want to teach people to play because they'll lose court time, right? If those people come play, they'll lose court time. Well, the more people you get coming out, people will start seeing, I got to do something about this. They might build more courts. Far-fetched, I get it. But it's in the interest of the sport to get more people on the court. And I'm not even saying USAR members, right? This is me as president of the USAR board saying, I don't even care about members. I just want people on the court playing. I want those courts there for my 6-year-old when he's old enough to play. Well, he's old enough to play now, but we'll get there.
Is he really? Because he can't play it up like down here. I couldn't play till I was like 12.
I got him on the court. I've been hitting with him. We started out just go chase the ball around with his racket. He's banging on the ground and the wall and giving him some old demo to play with. Yeah. And then finally, recently, it was maybe 2 months ago, I got him on. He asked me to go to the courts. It was a day off from school. He's like, Dad, can we go to the racquetball courts?
Yeah.
Yes. I will never say no to that question, right? So we go to the court, and I get him right around the receiving line, and I'm in the backcourt, and I say, racket up, and he gets his racket up, 2 hands, right? His racket up, and then I shag a ball off the front wall. It comes bouncing to him. He takes a swing and hits it. And I rack it up, racket goes up, and we just do it again. So just trying to get him into that racket prep mentality at 6. But it's not an LA Fitness. It's a privately owned club.
So there was a question I told you. I don't know if this person wanted their name mentioned or not, so I won't, just because I'd rather be safer than sorry. But so there's the question about always, LA Fitness, USA Racquetball reaching out, right? And like you said, we talked about it. Now, their specific question was, do we ever plan to allow leagues and stuff? Like you said, corporate's just tough. That's not our thing. Or allowing sanctioned tournaments. Best way to do it's leagues, like you said, just because it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate in our eyes, but in their eyes, they're a private business. Their job is to make money. They are a for-profit company. They want to see revenue. Hence why there are some courts where they'll turn it into the workout areas or put cardio equipment on there because they need to make sure their members are taken care of. Now, there was a question about posting stuff like monthly news or yearly calendar. That's hard because you should probably talk to LA Fitness because I was informed their maintenance people might tear it down. So you might just need to build a relationship with that person there. Probably keep it on the hush hush. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to play till 12. Wasn't allowed to play, but some people might let you in.
Hey, when I was running the leagues at Stoneham and LA Fitness, right, I would post about tournaments. I would put my flyer up to try to get people to join tournaments that were happening somewhere. Yep. They don't know where, right? Just, hey, there's a tournament. Scan this QR code, right? And I come in the next day, it's brought down. But all my LA Fitness branded league sign-up banners were still up. And so it's about getting that branding for LA Fitness. They're very committed to that brand and wanting to be protective of it. So, there's way, and I know tons of people that are able to run events at LA Fitness. And, it's great on the local level that we'll be able to do that. For even if it's just LA Fitness members only, like at least they get a sense of what the competition is or what tournament feel is like. Some people are very apprehensive. I'm not good enough to play tournaments. Well, we have a gazillion different divisions, which I have no idea what a Z division is. Do you want to explain what a Z division is?
That's my big bro. So in his thing, a Z division is basically I'm not good enough to be a D or C player. There's a division that's lower than that specifically for me. So Z player, and that's just something that we years. But same way, he's passionate about it. If you looked at him, he's not a pro, not a high level, but a guy who is horrifically passionate about the sport and has brought in many members to play, like just people just working out. And we'll sit there or just look a little interested, and he'll go on and show them. Like I said, not the greatest of players, as he clearly says in his eyes. In my eyes, I think he's a fantastic player for where he is and what he's gone through to get there. But that little bit, you don't have to be a Maurice or Stewart or somebody that's profitable. Like I said, I've been playing since I was 6. Didn't hit barely open until I was 18.
Wait, you started 6 years ago? No, I'm kidding.
It feels like it. So now I've been playing 23 years, so I should be good, right? I'll give lessons, I'll show whoever, because I want to give back to the sport. Kate, which side notes, finally remind me something. There have been comments also saying, I reached out to US and Racquetball before and they denied me or they did this. I can't change what happened before this staff or this board. I can't do anything about it. I can tell you from everything I've experienced and I've looked at, if you want to help out, please do. That decision could be different. There have been times, Stewart, you know this, maybe don't, but I'm going to say it because it's real. I have called you personally like, Stewart, I don't know if I'm the right person to be on the board because I don't know what I'm bringing to the board. And we've discussed it, and it's like, no, you do things. Don't be down on yourself because you're not a person from a Fortune 400 company or you haven't been a part of this. You bring other things that other people don't have. And so we need that, and you're valued on the board. And it shows because there are people who have just come up to me and just want to talk. And that's what I do. I talk. I'm going to listen. I'm going to give you answers. We're going to talk. And there'll be sometimes you just need a question, you have an opinion or whatever. That's what I'm here for. I want people to do that. And so if that's ever happened to anybody, first of all, I apologize. I don't know the reason it was happening. Reach out. I promise you, reach out. Because we're at the end of the day, if someone is more qualified than me to be on the board and help out, I need to step back, because it's not about being a board member. It's about growing racquetball. It's about promoting racquetball and saving it, because this is a sport we all love. And if I don't need to be there, then I'll be held accountable. Hey, Maurice, you did this wrong. Hold me accountable, because that's what's going to change. It's not about who you know and whatever. It's not. I joined your racquetball show because I wanted to do that. Then I became a board member. And I've learned so much from it, and I don't regret my decision at all. Is it stressful? Yes. Yes, because of the amount of negativity. It is horrifically stressful because I have other things I can do. I can be a father. I could have been trying to be a pro, but yet I became a father. I choose to be a father, right? But this is what we're doing because we hear the people who do want to know, even if they don't know, who want to help out. Please reach out. There is so much that everyone can do. Even if someone does one thing or you don't know, I promise you, we can find something that you can do. And you don't have to pay a dime to do it. You don't. We don't need your money for it. We don't. Just helping out is perfectly fine enough.
Pop into the comments box real quick. We got Sean Duffy. Sean, I actually think I have to reach out to you. Your name was brought up about some streaming stuff. I hear you're doing some OBS stuff. So I want to reach out. Feel free to reach out to me first. But he says, without a current national director who's running, coordinating all the other national events. Just one slight correction there, Sean. There is a current national director. It's Connor Shane, and he is the national director through February 10th. And so he's still doing the work and the coordination. He's going back and forth on contracts and hotels and this and that and the other. He's still doing a lot of coordination on the national level for these events. Now, at the event itself, I know Mike Grizz will be at the event coordinating activities. And like we always do, we rely on a lot of volunteers and a lot of staff to run the desk, run the registration desk, the tournament desk, to all the different facets. We put a team together. So we have a team. I have an Excel sheet right now that I need to reach out to everybody on that sheet so we can have kind of a powwow, everybody that's going to be at Arizona. I want to have a little pre-meeting together with everybody because Connor and I were supposed to be co-directors on it. Now Mike will be at the event. And so there'll be this three-headed monster is what I think the running backs are called in the NFL when they have a 3 running back package. And so there'll be a number of us in this like director position, but there'll be staff that'll be kind of rolling up into that to help coordinate activities. So without the national director, after February 10th, it's only a short window until we have high schools and collegiates. They're pretty much back to back, a month after Connor's last day. So that'll be a bang bang play. And then juniors will be months after that. And the juniors committee is doing a great job. I can't talk enough good things about Brian Dixon, coordinating a lot of. I don't know. Have you seen the videos that they put together for the juniors championship with all the testimonials? Ah, some
I don't know.
great testimonials out there. Go check it out.
Yeah,
They've been doing a great job promoting juniors.
yeah.
And so I feel like without Connor in the seat for a short time, we'll be in a good place. I just presented at the quarterly state director, tournament director meeting, the staff, right? So we have Connor through February 10th. We have Mike Grizz as our executive director. And then we also actually have an intern in Jonathan Greenberg, who's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
He's crushing it on the USA Racquetball stuff right now, picking up some pieces. And we just talked about putting playbooks together, everything that he's learning to do, to document it in the procedures, so that way we can, train other people when we get to a point to bring people in.
Mhm.
And Karen, Mike Grizz's wife, has been doing a fantastic job helping us. She's in the trenches right next to Mike, elbows deep and all the slush that we're going through. So yeah, we have a pretty strong staff moving forward. After Connor's departure, it will be volunteer for that a short period of time. And at some point we'll decide how we want to go forward with that paid staff position. So Sean, thanks for the note. Going down, so we got Lance was saying that it was a mistake to combine nationals. It may not be. The numbers that we assessed, the way we assessed those numbers, we determined that it wasn't a mistake, and that this was the path we wanted to go. Maybe there's other avenues to do it. But looking at smaller venue, what happens if those events become big, right? Like, so we get a smaller venue and we say, we're only going to get 100 people, and then all of a sudden 300 people out of nowhere want to sign up. We've now lost out on 200 entries and revenue
Mhm.
from 200 entries. So I think there's a lot to be said on the combination and it being a positive, more than there is combining it and being negative. So, I'm happy to chat through your ideas. Feel free to reach out. We can chat through what you think those numbers look like, and I can bring it to the events committee and the finance committee, and we can look at and see what that does moving forward. Happy to take any suggestions. Tum, tum.
By the way, while Stewart's looking for stuff, feel free to share the video. Share it wherever. I don't know I don't know how many numbers we got. I have no idea. All it shows me is a timer, Stewart's face, my face. That's it. And then other than that, I don't know. Get it out to as many people as possible. I'm open to doing another one. When? That's the hard part. But at the end of the day, our goal is to be as transparent as possible, as closely as transparent as possible, and to give you as much information, as accurate information as possible also. So share it. And if you got more questions, feel free to send them today, tomorrow, the next day. It doesn't matter. Whatever topics that members and even non-members who are passionate want to know about, please ask us. And if you're not a member, obviously, please, if you can, get your membership. I'd really appreciate it, because it supports racquetball and it supports your local state association. And just ask, because we're here. We're here. We're more than willing to do it, because I'd rather somebody not like me for the truth than not like me because of a lie or something that is a half truth. There's an unfortunate that we have information that gets leaked, and it just shouldn't happen. You don't hear about other big companies' information getting leaked because it's not supposed to. If we were trying to negotiate a contract for a sponsorship from somebody else and that contract gets leaked, we could lose out on that. And so you try to keep certain things as tight-lipped as possible. You feel me? Just ask us. Like we said, there are just certain things we can't say, not because we don't want to. I would love to tell y'all every single number. I would love to, but I cannot do that for the sake of racquetball. It literally is that I know it, and I can consciously tell y'all without a shadow of a doubt, we can't say it. We just can't, because that's just how it is, you know. It just is that. So please share it, ask your questions. I don't know how much longer we'll be on here because obviously we still have lives and stuff we got to do, but we're more than open. Like I said, we saw what our catalyst was to bring back the show because we obviously missed each other's handsome faces, but we're more than willing to do it.
Yeah, and it's to that point, right? If we don't get to your question during this show, we'll save it and we'll bring it back up. And Maurice will laugh because I was always in the background trying to keep the show to 30 minutes. That was my target KPI was 30 minutes. Once maybe I think we hit 30 minutes.
No,
Once.
no.
This is game 52. I think we hit it once. But there's always a lot of good conversation, and there wasn't any reason to break it up. And so, like Maurice said, we want to be able to bring it back. We feel like there's a void, but we don't want the Real Racquetball show to turn into a speak at you event. We want it to be a speak with you event.
Yeah.
And so we want this kind of back and forth. And there might be times where we're speaking at you to let you know that things are coming up, right? Beach Bash is coming up. I'm going to give Coulter a shout out. You got Beach Bash coming up down in Florida. There's only 3 events my wife ever traveled with me to, at racquetball events. One was Beach Bash, one was 3-wall ball, and the other was Huntington Beach. All warm weather outdoor events. But Beach Bash is fantastic. It's a great event to go to. I absolutely love it. I think that was actually my first outdoor event I might have gone to ever.
Really?
And I remember this was when I was in Philly. I went up to Jersey City to figure out what this outdoor thing was all about. And when I ended up at maybe that was before 3-wall, might be mixing it up. Either way, I wind up at Beach Bash. It's 1 wall.
Yeah.
And I remember playing a guy. I can see his name, and I can't. It was like Chevron or I feel like he was like out of Michigan or something. Don't remember. I remember playing him though, and I remember the ball going off the front wall, bouncing, and he watched it, bounce, and he watched it bounce that way. And he was getting ready for that back wall setup on a 1-wall court. I was like, "Hey, there's no back wall." He goes, "Yeah, figured that out." It's that interaction, right? It's just so much fun to have that interaction at outdoor. It's a whole different culture out there, and it's a great culture. If you have outdoor courts, go play on them. If you don't, find the association that you need to talk to in your community to build outdoor courts.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I wanted to do. I want to build. I want to talk to culture to build 3-wall ball style courts in the parking lot of the high school near me in the summer when the parking lot's not being used. Right? Build the courts, throw some outdoor programming together. At the end of the summer, break it down, store it, and then go around the community. I was talking with a couple of people. They're like, yeah, you can get, probably these deep pockets to pay for storage. You can get, go to the county sheriff for the inmates that are on good behavior, who are doing work in the community. Have them come build it. You get free labor to build the courts, and then it's just a matter of getting the material, right? So there's ways to do this. Sorry, going back to the chat because I know, hey, we're coming up on an hour here. I don't know if you noticed that.
A little bit, but it's okay.
Nick Irvine asked if there was a 2023 sponsor package ready to share with potential sponsors. Actually, I know there's been a lot of back and forth about whether there's a sponsor deck or not, and there is. I don't like it too much.
Mike Grizz the chat box, and he answered that. So
okay.
First of all, shout out Mike Grizz.
Mike Grizz.
Stewart also.
You're scrolling ahead, man. There's a lot to catch up on.
Hey, that's keeping it.
Holy moly! All right. Anyway, just to go real back because I saw my name associated with that one, so I just wanted to say yes, there is one. It's being fabbed up so that we can make it more current with current numbers. There's a lot of streaming numbers. There's a lot of impressions on there from way back day, way back time machine. So,
yep.
I like this one from your boy Jeffrey here.
Yeah, but that's so, and it's one thing where it's posted here, and so it's like, oh, he's just posting. Like, no, like there are people who really do that, and unfortunately there are people who don't. But that's what he does. Like there have been times where he, like I said, just be working out, and we'll see somebody, and we'll bring them on to players who now have been playing for a very long time, who who had no interest. Last week, I went to a new gym that I've never gone to, and it happened to be 9 o'clock, and a guy, I was hitting by myself because I was frustrated how I played because I don't play no more, and just hitting because I had a little bit more time. And he was like, "Hey, do you?" I have my racket in the car. I never have anybody to play with. Would you mind hitting for a bit? Do you mind showing me the rules? Heck yeah, come on, let's go. He's like, you sure? Yeah, come on, bro. It's okay. I'll spare some time for you. It's cool. And I ended up showing him. He was like, I just keep it in there because my brother and I used to play, but I typically play badminton and I love this sport. I just don't have no one to play because my brother moved out of the country and I don't have no one. And I was like, hey, a lot of guys here are perfectly nice people who want to play. Like they're not gonna ostracize you or anything. Just walk up to them. They're here Mondays and Wednesdays because we were there. I was there on a Monday, Mondays and Wednesdays, and just ask them to play, and they will be more than happy to play with you because I don't play. Is you sure you don't play? Trust me, I don't play. This is out the ordinary. I have 2 kids and I don't get to go to the gym, and so like Jeff, it's just showing somebody else the sport like that little bit could have potentially added someone, and now because I've shown them, they might find their friends and can now show them the rules to play. And now you've built 2 people or 4 people if it's doubles. Do I recommend doubles? No, because I don't want nobody to get hurt. But there are sometimes that's how people learn. There are many times I've been out of fitness and you've got just 4 people knocking the ball back and forth. No one gets hurt, but that's still racquetball. That's cool.
I remember talking to some people that were new to racquetball that never stepped on a court. They're like, I don't want to step on the court. I don't want. I feel like if you hit me with the ball, I'm gonna get hurt. I'm like, well, time out. If you play with somebody at your level, you're gonna get hit with the ball, but it's not gonna hurt that much because they're new, just like you. So they're not hitting it as hard.
Yeah.
Me, I'm hitting it hard, but I'm not gonna hit you.
Yep.
I know when not to swing and not take that shot. I know how to hit around you.
Yeah.
So for all those people that I do hit in the tournaments, no, it was on purpose. No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
So there's a couple chats in here about balls. We kind of went over that at the beginning of the show. IRT is on Gearbox. That's an IRT thing. There's a separation of church and state. IRT is IRT. USA Racquetball is USA Racquetball. We just signed an agreement with Penn to be the official ball of USA Racquetball, and they're the official ball of USA Racquetball. What else? Maurice, Maurice, did you take that call? All right. Trying to go through these questions. Oh, so we went through all the ball stuff. There's a question here. What can we do to revive racquetball? It seems dead online and courts are being taken down across the country. Hey, welcome back, Maurice. I was just talking about this comment that came in from John Smith. I'm not sure exactly the category of discussion here, but I have a question. What can we do to revive racquetball? It seems dead online and courts are being taken down across the country. John Smith, guess I don't know if that's a real, it's probably a person going under a pseudonym.
It could be from YouTube too.
Yeah, I got one. Oh, so it is from YouTube, and I got an email from a little internet at Gmail, who was talking about no videos going on YouTube. There's no videos coming out going over new rackets, balls, news, highlights, etc. It's not just about the league; it's about the sport for people who are enjoying the sport casually too. No one online talks about that. It needs to be fixed. So I'll give my quick 2 cents on that. Right. New rackets coming out, that's a manufacturer thing, right? Manufacturers are doing that. I kind of go back to this whole pro versus NGB, right? There has to be an entrepreneur part of this too, that has a commitment to kind of push this out there. I remember it was Racquetball Warehouse that always had things coming out about new rackets and demoing. Like, it's great to see that stuff, right? USA Racquetball, we have official things, right? We can't get behind certain things as official, right? But I would love, we had a couple podcasts out there that I was listening to that were great conversations, right? But we need people to take that initiative. You can't look to a national organization to take some of these initiatives that are out there for the private sector to do and for the entrepreneur to do. I talked with Dan Whitley back when we were on the board together about wanting to do some kind of podcast where, I jokingly called it Thunder and Lightning. And it was I was going to use a theme song from Imagine Dragons or something as like an intro.
Ooh.
I got you. Don't worry. So,
my man,
charcuterie. But being able to take that step out and have those conversations, right?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely valuable, and I think there's a piece there to do it. I'd love to be able to use our newsletter to find different manufacturers, not just the non-endemic manufacturers. Let's not find a racquetball manufacturer. Let's go outside the racquetball scope and find, I don't know, an Ace Bandage, a Motorola. Do they exist anymore? Let's find somebody out there who will want to utilize the newsletter as a paid advertorial, right? That they come in and put something in there, and they paid us to have their piece in there. But the value isn't there for them because we don't have the eyes, and so we need to grow that membership piece, whether it's a paid membership or a recreational membership, to get more eyes that are getting reached and reading that newsletter as another value stream. These are the things that we need to think outside the box, and not just a 1-for-1 membership money in, tournament event fee in. Like, let's think outside the box in different ways we can generate that revenue. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to look into this email a little bit more, and I'm happy to entertain anybody else's ideas. Feel free to shoot me information on what can we do, right? Is it something that you have an idea on how we can showcase the sport better, right? Like I created a TikTok account to try to capture videos at different events, and then I'm seeing more and more TikTok videos from the Bredenbecks are doing lots of TikToks. I've seen Bobby Horn with some TikTok videos out there. Like, I think we need to be able to find that avenue to reach people. And I saw a video. I need to find it. It was a tennis video, and it was this like dark feeling tennis commercial. I think it was almost like a team dovetail in racquetball, but only in tennis. And they were like stepping onto a court in the city. I think it was like in New York or something. Freddie might know about it. But stepping on this court, and there was like graffiti on the walls, and we're playing some smash mouth tennis, right? Like, let's get that feel, right? Like, let's produce that. But guess what? We still have those bills to pay. So I need some people that have creative minds that are willing to, commit some time and energy and resources to make that video, and that can help kind of build your portfolio. You can use it in our sphere, and then have it as a portfolio to capture other jobs, right? And so let's brainstorm on it and see how we can build that up, right?
Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. Like you said, reaching out for ideas. Like, there's a lot of stuff we just can't think about because we're not around there. Like, what goes on in, let's say, Georgia might not go on to what happens in Massachusetts, and vice versa. Same as California or Texas or whatever. Like, there are people who can do the what's her name? This Ms. Vasquez, was it Carolyn Vasquez? I want to say from Chicago. Was it Illinois? Who got the grant for
Oh yeah.
Porch, right?
Yep. Carolyn.
Nothing to do with USA Racquetball, nothing to do with the board, but she went out and won a grant that was probably I'll say 3% chance of winning from the outside looking in, right? But she got approved for it because she took the time to do it, right? And it's not, like I said, it doesn't have to be about money. It can be anything, So we as a community are so much stronger together than if we are fractured and divided or splintered, right? We can all work together, do it one brick at a time, and build a house in no time. We all can do this. We're all, I'd assume we're all passionate about it. Like and share the video, please. Share it around. Like I said, ask questions. Feel free to message me on Messenger, email me, whatever you got to do. Maurice will always be here. My Messenger never goes off. My number never changes. Ask whatever, because Stewart and I, Mike Grizz, reach out to Mike Grizz. He's the guy at USA Racquetball. Karen, whoever, because Mike, even now, as you see, he's in the comments. Or Mike, we might have to get you on here one time. Not saying you do, not saying not, because like I said, we don't know when. I don't know when I'm gonna do, but I don't know. It's obviously whatever people say. Just saying. Reach out. At the end of the day, just reach out. You know, the worst you could get is a no. At the end of the day, like at the very least, the worst you can get is a no. But what about the possibility of getting so much more for it, or feeling like, hey, I've been wanting to do this and now I'm led in the right direction? How many people wanted to hold a tournament but didn't know how, and they were finally walked through how to do it and they were able to do it? Doesn't mean you got to do it different. You can run a shootout. You can do something that's hush hush and just invite a couple of friends over. There's so many things we could do to, okay, save the court. Just be on it. They can't kick you off if you're on it. They will not do it. They can't. Be on it. Tell them, hey, be passionate about it. Say, hey, look, this is our court and we're passionate about it not going because I want to be on it. And whether I've said it before earlier in the conversation, Stewart said it before, if we've got to tell anybody coming up, hey, I've got to say it 20 times because every time I'm teaching somebody something new, I got to repeat myself. So why am I not willing to say the same information again? That's fine. Because now you know it. Who knows if you're the person that might go tell 50 people. You're the person that might go tell this person, that's going to go tell this person, that's going to go tell this person. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's going to promote and grow racquetball. I'll talk till I'm blue in the face. If I got to post it, copy and paste. I'll create a document where it says copy and paste responses because I just want the information out there. If that's what I got to do and that's what the audience wants, that's what we're here for. My job is not to help me get somewhere. My job is to be a board of director for the racquetball members and hopefully get their opinions and their concerns brought to whatever level it needs to be to so it can be addressed. So we can fix, like Mike Grizz said, whatever regime or what happened in before, we cannot change that. We can only do what we got right now in front of us. That's all we can do. I can't change anything someone else did in the past. I cannot. But I promise you, we can help shape the future. That's all I got. That's all I got.
You use my line, Maurice, that I'm going to get tattooed, that we can't change the past, but we can make decisions and impact the future.
That sounds like a pretty long tattoo. That sounds like a painful tattoo.
Nope. Yeah, I've got none. I don't plan on getting any. But I mean, it's true, right? We can talk to a blue in the face about what's happened in the past.
Yep.
Not going to change a damn thing.
Nope.
What we can do is we can make change right now.
Yep.
We can make decisions. We can make impact now.
Yep.
To impact the future.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to do, right? And the more time that we spend on the negative side and the more things that we have to fight against keeps us from growing. Yep. So if we can come together, it's like I've said in newsletters from the desk of the president. If you haven't seen them, go back to Serving Up the News and find some of the letters that I put out there. Family is the biggest name that comes up in any racquetball events, right? You pick up conversations with long lost friends that you haven't seen in a while. You pick them up where you left them off the last time, right? It's all about the family. There's family reunions that racquetball just happen to hop in and happen, right? So let's come together as a family and do this together. And I'm not trying to get any recognition for anything. You want all credit, I'll give you all the credit in the world. I've gotten where I needed to be. Now I want to be someplace where I'm bringing everybody up, us all on this ride, right? So let's do this together.
Yep.
All right, Maurice.
Kind of.
We didn't even do an hour. We went over the hour.
Look, but right, we didn't go in here saying how long it's going to be, and that's what we said in our pregame. And I'm cool saying on air, we didn't know whether it's going to be 15, 30 an hour. We don't know. It's whatever people want. I feel like I'm okay with it closing here. I feel like we've said most, if not all, what was probably on our mind, probably most of it. We're probably thinking of some more stuff. Like I said, when we're going to do a next one, I don't know. Whenever we talk about it and it needs to be done, that's fine with me. I'm cool with it. Hopefully it answered a lot of questions or concern, maybe opened up new ones, and feel free to ask them. I love it.
One of the things we had talked about was anonymity, right? If you don't want people to know that you're the one asking the questions, I can guarantee you 100% the two people on this call are not the two that are leaking anything anywhere. And so we will keep it tight-lipped between the two of us. Yep. If it's something that you want to kind of keep that way, we'll keep it that way.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with it and here's the reason why. if I asked for the same thing, I would want it to be respected. So why would I do it to you? Why would I do it to you? Because I understand sometimes. If y'all actually don't really know, I'm actually incredibly shy. It's just the older I get, I'm learning I got to be more extroverted because unfortunately, I decided to put my situations in this where I got to be in front of a camera and I got to talk to people. But I'm an introvert by nature. I don't like being the center of attention. I hate being the center of attention. I hate it. But if I have to put myself out there, I'm willing to do that for the greater good.
That's where we experience our most growth
Yeah.
from moments of discomfort.
Yep.
So, Maurice, thanks
Right.
for coming back on. Thanks for experiencing this discomfort.
I love.
Hey, did you get the pregame jitters before this? Before like tournaments, I get the pregame jitters, right? Any tournament, before any show, I always get those pregame jitters because you just don't know how it's going to go, right?
So I woke up this morning and someone actually texted me like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "Nope, yeah, I'm nervous because it's the unknown. It's are we going to do a good job? Are people going to be receptive of it? Am I going to mess up?" Even now, I'm nervous because I don't want to be misunderstood or have something that I'm trying to say and I say it the way that I'm not trying to say it, you know? At the end of the day, I just want it to be right. And I want people to be able to understand it. Because if I'm telling you something and you can't understand it, you're basically going to be where you really are. You know, if as a coach, I can give you all the tools for what you need, but if I'm not giving you the right tools or you never learn how to use them, what's the point? You know, what's the point? So heck yeah, I was nervous, even talk to you when we were backstage, eat my charcuterie.
Nice.
It was even there, talking about it. That's why I had my notepad, and I never have a notepad because I wanted to do it right. I wanted our first show to be what I want. I felt like we kept it real. I felt like I kept it real. If I'm laughing too much or my hoodie's that's fine. This is Maurice. Like, you're talking to Maurice. I'm not going to give you a face. If you meet me wherever, this is going to be who you get. Like, I want it to be real racquetball. I wanted our first show to be successful. And whether we got numbers or not, okay, maybe the numbers will grow, maybe they don't, but the information's there. If we got to keep doing it, that's fine with me.
Me too.
Fine with me. Plus, I get to see you all the time. Obviously, shout outs to Mike Waddell. I miss you too. Shout outs to Mike Grizz, the new guy. I love it. I feel like I missed this a little bit. I did. I missed it. I missed it a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little, because it's fun talking.
Well, speaking of missing, we'll miss you at Arizona.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're not missing too many people. Hopefully some more people come out. I really want to rock that 250, right? Or like I said, with the doubles that haven't entered, we're at 225. So, I think we have a real good chance of hitting that 250. So don't miss out. It's going to be a fun time. I've never played ASU, so this is going to be an experience for me. So
it's fun. It's awesome.
Carrie, Rettmeyer, don't worry. My knee's fine. It feels fine. We'll be okay.
You should probably get a back brace because she's probably be carrying you most of the time.
Oh, I was going to give her some ibuprofen to help carrying me on the court. But all right, we'll leave it there. Maurice, I think you froze on that smile. That was perfect. I almost ended it right on that. That would have been perfect. All right, Maurice, have a great night. I'll catch you.
See everybody.
Later.